let's move it on and talk about the last subject of the night. Again, this is probably a pretty short show for us because we normally go about 20 minutes over our half-hour slated time.
And right now, we're just getting to our half-hour time. So
hey, that's how but our next topic is the NBA Draft happened on Thursday. And if you don't know what the NBA Draft is, like, what's wrong with you? I'm not even going to explain what the NBA Draft is. I think that's insulting for me to explain.
I'll explain to you. See, the NBA Draft is when the NBA drafts a bunch of players, which means it's like in the playground when you say, hey, I'm going to pick you, and then the other team's like, I'm going to pick that guy now. It just goes through people like that.
Yeah, just like that. But I'm going to run down pretty much the top 10 picks, maybe go over a couple other picks that might be interesting. But let's start it off with number 1. And number 1 pick in the NBA Draft, Cleveland Cavaliers had it. Say that 10 times fast. Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, Cleveland Cavaliers had had the number 1 pick in this year's draft. And it's weird because they've had, like, the number 1 pick, like, 3 out of the past 5 years. So, like, they're rigging something. It's supposed to be a draft lottery. You're not supposed to just definitely get it. I don't know what's going on there.
They're Cleveland.
They are Cleveland. They're
what
just
else do they got going for them?
We're sorry for you. We're going to give you the number 1 pick. You're in Cleveland.
We hate on Cleveland a lot, but we don't need to. I'm sorry, guys. It's
sorry.
We don't have anything against you personally. It's just you've been watching your sports. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're from like the second saddest town for sports, and that's D.C., but yeah, we're better than you. Ha! So they got Andrew Wiggins. Now, Andrew Wiggins, coming out of high school, everybody was like, this is the number 1 pick. If he could have come straight out of high school, he would have been the number 1 pick then. He went to Kansas. I actually think he did not play up to his expectations. He showed a lot of his physical promise, but he didn't show a lot of the mental toughness that you would like to see, especially at the college level from these players. I really think it would have benefited him to stay in another year in that good Kansas system. But he came out, and so he should be playing again next to Kyrie Irving, and you might see some pretty good stuff out of those two. It'll be an exciting backcourt, and I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to entice another player to come, like a bigger superstar, more of a veteran. I know they were courting LeBron James. LeBron James is never coming back, Cleveland. Sorry. Dan Gilbert blew that up when he started encouraging people to burn his jerseys.
Hey, he opted out of his contract. It's possible.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. He's staying in Miami, or he's going to like New York or LA or maybe Chicago. You never know. But yeah, so they got him as the number 1 pick. Now he does have a huge upside if he can refine a lot of those talents. But again, I don't know if the mental maturity is there. We'll see. It always takes time, and he's only 19 years old. So, I mean, you should have seen me at 19 years old. Not mature at all. You should see me at 29 years old. Not mature at all. So, there's some time there. But so let's move on to the next pick. The Milwaukee Bucks had the 2nd pick in the NBA. I almost said the NFL draft, the NBA draft, and they picked the small forward Jabari Parker out of Duke. Now, this guy probably came out as the most refined player. He'll probably make the biggest impact right away. Came out of that excellent Duke system. Krzyzewski throws out players. I mean, he just brings them in, and they just go out and they're pros. So he's polished. He's ready to play. He's going to be a really talented player, but he's not quite athletically gifted as some of the other players in the draft. But again, he is more polished. So he's a guy you can plug in right into your lineup right away. So he'll be good for Milwaukee. And then with the 3rd pick, now this one really, it was just a head scratcher. It was like, huh? Really? They did that? Again? And that is the 76ers drafted Joel Embiid. Now, Embiid was projected as the number 1 pick until about a couple weeks ago when he had a fracture in his foot, I believe, and had to have surgery to get it repaired. And I say that this is so weird, not because it happens, players get injured, but you usually don't draft a player with a high pick 2 years in a row. Last year, I believe they had the 4th pick, and they drafted a guy, Noel Nerlens. Damn it, how can I not remember his? Noel Nerlens, something like that. It's a weird name. And you know why I don't know his name? Because he didn't play at all last year. He was hurt coming out of Kentucky. And yeah, he has got all the talent in the world, but he didn't play. What does talent matter to you if they sit on the bench hurt? And they went ahead and drafted pretty much the same position, another center, with the same problem. He's hurt, and he's looking to probably miss at least 6 months of this year, if not the whole year. And it's like, why would you do that again? I mean,
someone there has a master plan. We're going to get all of the injured players. They'll be so thankful to us that they came to us, and we'll wait. We'll wait it out a couple years. Then no one's going to know what hit him. Like, oh, what is that guy injured?
Yeah.
Oh man, now he's so awesome.
And people,
not only that, they're putting in prosthetics into
prosthetics.
They're boost. They want these injured players.
Yes, robo feet. Go robot feet.
They want those injured players because they already have to get surgery, and no one's going to question when they're out for a little extra time, and then they come back and suddenly they can jump 12 feet in the air.
Hey, that might not be that bad. I would take all the players on the Wizards
feet, from the ground to their foot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But I mean, people will point to a player like Blake Griffin who had the same thing. He had a bad kneecap when he came out, missed the whole first year, and then he's been spectacular since then. But that is a rare occasion. You see more of the Greg Odens who had hurt. He was hurt when he first came out, I believe, and he really hasn't had a career since. So I just don't understand it when you draft a hurt player that high. It's too risky, and if it doesn't pan out, you're screwed. Simple as that. But let's move it on to the next pick, number 4, Aaron Gordon, coming out of the power forward, coming out of Arizona. He got drafted by the Orlando Magic, and I like this pick as well. Aaron Gordon is a very physical player. They have a really good shooting guard in Victor Oladipo. Shout out to Matha. That's you.
Yeah, that's my school.
Yeah, I was like, not me. I didn't go there. You need to shout out to Matha there.
I did go there.
So he'll fit in well there in Orlando, and they are actually building a pretty good young squad. They're still a couple years away, but they're building down there, and I kind of like what they're doing.
If anyone doesn't know why that's also so important, not just because I went there, but they're very well known for decades now for the basketball team and just sports in general. Like when I was there, we were ranked second best high school sports in the country, right? But our basketball team has been like prime since the 50s or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been one of the best. And also, little known fact about DeMatha is they have a great choir and band.
Yes.
Actually,
that's one of the things that people don't realize. Like, some people know us as, because our sports are so good, Jack School, but we had kind of a 3-way split people would talk about. Because a third of the school did sports, a third of the school did music in general, and a third of the school was like all AP and honors students. So,
there you go. So, it's cool.
Hey, promote our school. Now, if you want to send your child.
And to Math, if you'd like to send us a check for the great endorsement, you probably won't anyway, so I'm just not going to go with that.
Just do it. Come on.
Just do it. All right, so the number 5 pick in this NBA draft this year, Dante Exum. And now this is a player that a lot of people hadn't heard of, but he had gotten a lot of buzz coming into it. And it's because he's from Australia. He threw another shrimp on the barbie. And a dingo HL baby. Okay. But he got drafted by the Utah Jazz. He actually, what I've seen of him on YouTube is he's going to be pretty good. So I'm not going to really go in depth on him because I don't really know much about him. So let's move it on to number 6, and that would be Marcus Smart out of Oklahoma State, getting drafted by the Boston Celtics. And now I found this very interesting because he is a point guard, and they already had a spectacular all-star point guard in Rajon Rondo, so look for Rondo to be on the move. I think I've already heard rumors of them shopping him in some sort of trade or anything. I'm pretty sure they would just take anything. Like, have you ever seen the movie, what is that called? The Will Ferrell basketball movie. All right, I can't talk about the movie if I don't remember the name.
Will Ferrell basketball movie?
It was a really funny one, too. It was
a bunch of other sport movies. I don't recall basketball. It must not have been that good.
No, it was good. It was a lot less known.
You don't remember it. It didn't leave that good of an impression.
I remember it.
You don't remember the name.
I remember it. All I know is in this movie, Will Ferrell trades a washing machine for a basketball player. So, because he owns the Flint Tropics. I can't even tell you the name of the fictional team. Damn it! What the hell
You're
is the
making
name?
this all up.
I'm not. It's a real
You're writing
movie.
a screenplay for this movie.
Will Ferrell, if you'd like to join this movie. But yeah, so I mean that's almost what they're going to do. They're going to trade Rajon Rondo for like a washing machine and a dishwasher. So and it's sad because he's a pretty good player. But let's move it on to number 7. And this is probably the best pick, I think the most solid of all the picks in the draft. And that was the Los Angeles Lakers drafting Julius Randle. He is a spectacular player. He has number 1 talent. And I don't really know why he dropped so far off down the board. He comes out of Kentucky, another one of those great pro-making schools. So I don't know why he fell all the way that far down, and he's a good power forward. He's going to fit in great in L.A., especially if Kobe can make it back next year and if they get some sort of point guard to go. And I feel he's polished, but he still has a lot of potential left to realize. So I think that's probably the best pick of the draft right there. And then we're just going to go through the next 3 pretty fast because they're all literally known players. And you have Nick Strauskis from Canada/Lithuania. I don't know how you're from both those places. He plays a shooting guard, and he will be with the Sacramento Kings. And then you have Noah Vonleh. He's from the United States. He's actually played at Indiana. And he's got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. And then you have Elfrid Payton, point guard, drafted by the New Orleans. He was drafted by the 76ers. But then I believe he was traded to Orlando, so that's an interesting one. And yeah, so I don't really. One of the bigger ones is a guy who went right after that, Doug McDermott, and he was a really good player. He's one of the highest scoring college players of all time out of Creighton. So you never know. I mean, like you had Jimmer Fredette come out a couple of years ago from BYU, and it seemed like that kid could do nothing but drop 50-point games, and then hasn't done anything in the NBA. So.
It's a very different level of play. So
it's certainly.